Now, let me introduce to you our speakers who will be talking about mental health awareness. Today's webinar speaker is known to provide academic, career, college access, affordability, admission, and social emotional competencies to all students through a school counseling program. She is an Ateneo de Zamboanga University graduate, a Bachelor of Science of Psychology in 2004 and Masters of Arts in Guidance and Counseling in 2011, and was registered guidance counselor in 2015. She is known for being ADSU's excellent guidance counselor for almost 14 years, from 2006 to 2015 in ADSU High School, 2015 to 2017 in ADSU College, 2017 to 2019 in ADSU Senior High School, and 2019 up to present back in ADSU College. Our speaker is also a grateful and content wife since 2010 and a mother of one since 2014. Let's give our speaker a round of applause for the comforts of our home, ladies and gentlemen. Let us all welcome Miss Shayla L. Young.
Okay, so good afternoon once again. For the next 45 minutes to an hour, I'll be talking about surviving or thriving, prioritizing self-growth during quarantine. Actually, I've tried to really make this presentation simple para you can easily understand it. So not so much of the highfalutin aspect, but it's really more of ano ba yung ginagawa natin ngayon? Or siguro ano ba yung nagawa na natin for the past weeks, months, tapos ngayon medyo nakakapagod ng gawin. I will let you first into a mindful exercise. Ano lang to siya? Mindful breathing. So as nursing students, I'm sure narinig nyo na to, mindful breathing. Sige, so follow muna natin to. So that sound that you're listening, it's actually our lungs. Breathe in. Breathe out. So just follow the bubble. So that's breathing in, slowly, tapos pause, then breathe out. I will let you into a mindful breathing exercise. As I play the song, just focus on the bubble and focus on your breathing. I cannot exit the screen again. So I'll be playing this song while we do the breathing exercise. Just follow the bubble or just be aware of your own breathing. Start by settling into a comfortable position and allow your eyes to close or keep them open with a softened gaze. Begin by taking several long, slow, deep breaths, breathing in fully and exhaling fully. Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose or mouth. Allow your breath to find its own natural rhythm. Bring your full attention to noticing each in-breath as it enters your nostrils, travels down to your lungs, and causes your belly to expand. And notice each out breath as your belly contracts and air moves up through the lungs, back up through the nostrils or mouth. Invite your full attention to flow with your breath. Notice how the inhale is different from the exhale. You may experience the air as cool as it enters your nose and warm as you exhale. As you turn more deeply inward, begin to let go of noises around you. If you are distracted by sounds in the room, simply notice them and then bring your intention back to your breath. Simply breathe as you breathe, not striving to change anything about your breath. Don't try to control your breath in any way. Observe and accept your experience in this moment without judgment, paying attention to each inhale and exhale. If your mind wanders to thoughts, plans, or problems, simply notice your mind wandering. Watch the thought as it enters your awareness as neutrally as possible. Then practice letting go of the thought as if it were a leaf floating down a stream. In your mind, place each thought that arises on a leaf and watch as it floats out of sight down the stream. Then bring your attention back to your breath. Your breath is an anchor you can return to over and over again when you become distracted by thoughts. Notice when your mind has wandered. Observe the types of thoughts that hook or distract you. Noticing is the richest part of learning. With this knowledge, you can strengthen your ability to detach from thoughts and mindfully focus your awareness back on the qualities of your breath. Practice coming home to the breath with your full attention, watching the gentle rise of your stomach on the in breath and the relaxing, letting go on the out breath. Allow yourself to be completely with your breath as it flows in and out. You might become distracted by pain or discomfort in the body or twitching or itching sensations that draw your attention away from the breath. You may also notice feelings arising, perhaps sadness or happiness, frustration or contentment. Acknowledge whatever comes up, including thoughts or stories about your experiences. Simply notice where your mind went without judging it, pushing it away, clinging to it, or wishing it was different, and simply refocus your mind and guide your attention back to your breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Follow the air all the way in and all the way out. Mindfully be present, moment by moment with your breath. If your mind wanders away from your breath, just notice without judging it, be it a thought, emotion, or sensation that hooks your attention, and gently guide your awareness back to your breathing. As this practice comes to an end, slowly allow your attention to expand and notice your entire body and then beyond your body to the room you are in. When you are ready, open your eyes and come back fully alert and awake. The breath is always with you as a refocusing tool to bring you back to the present moment. Set your intention to use this practice throughout your day to help cultivate and strengthen your attention. Okay, so how are we with the breathing? Na-follow nyo naman? Actually, with breathing, if you notice or if you remember, that's the very first thing that we do or that we did when we were born. And that will be the very last thing that we will be giving up before we leave this earthly life. And that's the very thing that you have with you every second of your life, breathing. Pero nakakalimutan natin na humihinga pala tayo. Lalo na when we think of so many things to do, so many dreams that we'd like to accomplish, so many goals to work on. And that very breathing, actually, if you just take charge of it, that can save you every time, especially when you are in a stressful, chaotic, panicking situation. So sana, this breathing you will bring with you every time. Every time you feel the need to pause and clear your mind. So for this afternoon, for the next 45 minutes or an hour, our objectives will be as follows. We will get to choose between surviving and thriving, and we will know how to do effective self-growth in these challenging times and beyond. Kumusta na nga ba tayo? Well, you can answer it through the chat box. Tapos later babasahin ko ha. So, siguro a word to describe your Sunday. Pwede bang ikiin sa chat box ngayon? A word to describe your Sunday. How's your Sunday? Sige daw. Check natin. How's your Sunday? Productive. Okay. Sleepy, typical, so good, relaxing, bored, yeah, bored. What else? Blessed, okay, stressful, boring, okay, calming, busy, and so on and so forth. Lazy, frustrating. So yan, frustrating. Ano pa? Blessed. So ang daming nagsasabi na blessed. Coincidence ba na Sunday ngayon kaya feeling natin na blessed tayo? Calm, lazy, okay. Sige. Sa lahat to, your emotions, kumusta kayo? These are all real feelings. These are all true. Sinasabi nga natin na with emotions or feelings, they are neither right nor wrong. But they are true. Kasi emotions mo yan. So no one has the right to make you change that. Only you has the right to change that. For example, if you feel lazy, if you feel frustrated, disappointed perhaps, so no one has the right to make you change that. Kayo lang ang makakapagbago niyan. I will let you in this process.
Oh my God.
O definitions muna tayo. Kasi 'di ba, as with anything, we can better grasp the concept or kung ano yung pinag-uusapan pag klaro sa atin yung definitions. Surviving, according to dictionary.com, to remain or continue in existence or use, to endure or live through. Thriving, to prosper, be fortunate or successful, to grow or develop vigorously, flourish. Tapos self-growth, a desire to be a better version of oneself every day, a lifelong process to improve one's own performance through formal and informal approaches. So striking sa surviving, remain or continue in existence, thriving, to prosper, to grow or develop vigorously, self-growth. Pinakamagandang line para sa akin, it's a lifelong process to improve one's own performance. A lifelong process. Ibig sabihin, hindi after this 2-3 day webinar, may self-growth na kayo. Or pagbalik na tayo sa normal after this COVID pandemic, magkaka-self-growth na kayo. No. Self-growth, it's a lifelong process. And in that process of growing, at times, we are merely surviving. At other times, we are thriving. But either way, or in between, what's important is you take the day at a time. By, again, knowing that humihinga pa pala ako. At etong hinga na meron ako, it simply shows that I still have the chance to do what I want to do and what I need to do. So I'll let you in a process. So in counseling, we follow theories, we follow approaches, hence counseling is scientific and evidence-based. And this one, it's one of my favorite. I'm not sure kung narinig nyo na to, given that you're nursing students. So CBT thought process. CBT stands for Cognitive Behavioral Therapy. So cognitive, our mind. Behavior, our actions. Ganito siya. It's a cycle. And this cycle happens every time. Every time. So a situation, something happens, thought, how you interpret the situation, and what you think, you will feel, and what you feel, you will act, most likely act according to that emotion or feeling. So let's try an example. Situation, COVID-19 pandemic. Ano siguro yung thought? So ang daming thoughts, diba? So I'll use one thought that I got from one of the students I had the opportunity to have a session with. Gap year. Gap year because one of her parent nawala ng trabaho. And she's not sure kung kaya pa ba ng isang parent na may trabaho to sustain the financial needs of the family, given that there are 3 of them still studying. So gap year. Paano kaya mag-gap year ako? So ano yung nararamdaman mo ngayon na may option for this gap year? I'm worried and anxious. So you're worried and anxious, that's valid. So ano ngayon? Anong plano mo? Bahala na ma'am. Anyway, 1 taon lang naman yan. Kaya lang yan. Bahala na. Bahala na si Batman. So diba? Very typical among Filipinos, the bahala na attitude. So I taught her the process. Okay, so bahala na. Hanggang ganun na lang. So every day, in this gap year, paulit-ulit yan. Sisihin mo perhaps si COVID-19, sisihin mo perhaps yung employer ng parent mo kasi nawala ng trabaho, sisihin mo perhaps yung government, etc., etc. So again, the point of the CBT process is for the person to take charge of his or her thought process. So eto yung ginawa namin. So what if instead of right away saying yes to that gap year, what if you will think of this? What can I do to help my parents in supporting my studies? Oo pala, ma'am. Oo, hindi ko naisip yun. Bakit kaagad in-entertain ko yung gap year na yan? So how do you feel now na may option ka pala? Let's see. I'm feeling a little hopeful. Nakaka-excite, ma'am, na I can help my parents in finding ways on how I can help them support in my studies. So now you're a little hopeful. Ano yung pwede mong gawin after feeling this little hope? I can start to work on a plan. Like look for a sponsor. Alam ko na, ma'am, pwede ko palang puntahan yung mga relatives ko. I can ask them siguro small amounts, tapos sabay-sabayin ko lahat ng amount na to. Baka meron na akong pang-down ng enrollment ko. Tapos from there, adi at a time na lang, ma'am. See? See how this thought process can do wonders, can help you change that negative perspective into something hopeful, into something positive. With thriving, even with surviving, with self-growth, etong cycle, ginagawa natin always. It's just that hindi natin alam na may ganito pala, na may ganito palang tawag na CBT thought process. And mind you, growing up, we were conditioned. We were conditioned to right away be cautious. Give you an example. Nung wala pa tong pandemic, no, very common among students. Kailangan ko nang umuwi ng 8 o'clock. Kailangan ko nang umuwi ng 9 o'clock. Kasi it's not safe for a girl like me to be walking on the dark streets. Bakit? Kasi hindi safe, etc., etc. So tama naman. We need to be cautious. But there's that better explanation para hindi magkakaroon ng fear of the dark or of walking alone sa dark. My point is, growing up, we were conditioned to right away be reactive, to right away be cautious. And we forget na there's that other part pala na I can be responsive, I can be I can be careful, not cautious lang, kasi my rational explanation. Do you get the point of the process? So etong CBT thought process, as a takeaway, sana matutunan nyo na it's normal for you to right away think negatively pag may sitwasyon, pag may problema. Pero if only you will pause, do the proper breathing to clarify your mind. Kasi pag naisip mo right away yung negative automatic thought, right away, you would feel the kaba. You would feel anxious, you would feel doubtful, you would feel fear. But then, if you will pause, breathe in, breathe out, siguro 10 counts of breathing in, breathing out, your mind will be clearer and you get to look for alternatives or options. Make sense? And in the process, hindi ka basta-bastang mag-decide on the negative. Instead, you'll get to find better solutions to the problem. Sige. I'll give you more examples. So eto, thank you to World Health Organization. So doon ko to nakuha, no? So may binigay na eight tips si WHO. Pero para sa akin, yung 8 tips, pwede siyang gawing 5. So sabi doon, ito yung ginagawa natin for the past months because of the lockdown, because of the pandemic. So let's see. 1, have a routine. Do you have your routine? Ako, for the first few weeks of this pandemic, like my routine got crazy, went crazy. So I went back to my routine come second week of April. Nung mas klaro na kung anong kailangan kong gawin for this new setup, work from home, called no work from home. According to studies, our parents taught us routine while we were growing up because by having routine as children, we get to know what we need to do next, what we need to do next. So we get to have predictable behavior and outcomes. And by having predictability through routine, as children, we develop self-esteem. And in the process, we become confident and we learn to be independent. So my point here is we thrive with routine ever since we were babies. So as nursing students, I'm sure alam niyo yan. Di ba babies? Anong oras bibigyan ng milk? After ilang inom ng milk, kailangang i-change yung diaper, etc., etc. And if you watch closely at the baby, you can see a pattern. You can see a routine in the drinking of milk, in the changing of nappy, in the crying, etc., etc. Because we thrive with routine. Next, eto, newsfeed, diba? Frustrated, disappointed, angry. I'm sure marami sa atin. Marami sa atin, etong tatlong emotions. Anger, frustration, disappointment. Day in, day out. Because of what we see in our newsfeed, what we hear on the radio, what we watch on TV. Screen time. Ako, how many hours do I stay in front of my laptop every day because of this work from home? To the point na at times, I get irritable. Hindi ko maintindihan kung saan nanggagaling yung irritability ko. Until one day, I finally decided to unplug. Kasi pala, every minute, kahit kumakain ako ng lunch and ng snacks, chinecheck ko yung email ko, chinecheck ko yung messenger ko. Kung may nag-inquire ba, kung may nagpapaschedule ba, kung yung head ko, sinenda na naman ba ako ng email, etc., etc. So screen time. Diba studies show that we need to have certain time for screen time. Diba? In between breaks per hour. After an hour of screen time, even 45 minutes of screen time, take a break. Mapa-CR break man yan, drink water, or look at something green, etc. Video games. Video games. Video games can at times be relaxing, pero depende na din kung paano mo ginagamit yung video game time for relaxing. Because just like anything, video games can be addicting. Social media. Eto. Because of social media, that's why we have a rising cases of psychological concerns among the youth. Studies show because of social media.
Shit, ang signal.
Na-notice nyo ba? Na-notice nyo? ah may araw talaga na you scroll, scroll, scroll. Tapos, hindi mo na malayan after scrolling for like 30 minutes to an hour. 1 hour na pala. Tapos, kanina, masaya ako. Sobrang positive ko. Tapos, after scrolling for an hour, I feel irritable. Parang, hindi na ako happy sa buhay ko. Because, ano yung mga nakita mo sa pag-scroll mo? Check mo. Eto. Alcohol, drug use, even smoking, even overeating. So alcohol, drug use, smoking, even overeating, no? When I say overeating, especially overeating of unhealthy junk food. So kung hindi ka umiinom, huwag mong simulan. Drug use, hindi lang yung bad drugs na alam natin. So 'di ba with nursing, alam naman ninyo na overdosing or taking in of medication without proper consultation, that's also wrong. Tapos smoking, we know na it calms, it clears the mind, etc., etc. But really, there are other ways of doing if you want to clear the mind. So not the alcohol, not the drug use, not the smoking, and even not the overeating. Social contact. So given our limited opportunity to get in touch with our friends face to face, eto yung meron tayo ngayon. So it's very important na if you feel if you feel that you need to talk to someone, you can easily reach out to a friend through texting, through messenger perhaps, even through email or through phone call. And lastly, help others. Help others. You don't have to go out to your community, to your barangay to help, to be of help, to be useful, to be helpful. You can start in your household.
Signal, please.
So ano yung ginagawa niyo na at home wherein you are contributing to the family's needs? For example, simple sweeping, washing the dishes, even just doing your bed, even just putting things back to its proper place. That's already helping. So going back. So my point of these things, it all goes back to you. Yung takeaway sana natin after this session is, you try to assess or reassess kung kumusta ka na. Like, be honest with yourself. Kumusta ka na when it comes to your routine, when it comes to what you feed yourself, what you read, what you watch, what you listen to? Hindi ikaw yon, pero baka maging ikaw na yon. What you scroll, what you post on social media, the number of hours you spend on screen, may it be your cell phone, your laptop, or whatever gadget, your video games. How many hours a day are you playing? Are you playing just to release the tension? Or are you playing because you're so bored and you got hooked, you got addicted to playing, that you have difficulty stopping yourself from playing for like 3 to 4 hours a day? So check yourself. Alcohol. Are you hooked to drinking? Are you hooked to taking sleeping pills just so you can sleep at night? Kasi sobrang bothered mo na with this lockdown? sobrang bored mo na, sobrang pagod mo na, sobrang frustrated mo na, smoking. Kung hindi ka pa nagsimula, mas maganda pag wag mo nang simulan. Or baka etong lockdown, this is an opportunity for you to slowly let go of smoking. And finally, you can stay connected with your friends, with your relatives, with your family through social media. You can help you can help your community by doing your chores at home, by helping your family in the household in whatever little way you can. So the point of this thriving and not just merely surviving, of thriving and doing self-growth in this time of lockdown, in this time of quarantine, it's really about you taking responsibility. It's really about you taking control of you. It's about you doing effective self-growth. Pag nahihirapan ka as to how to do it, as to how to start, balikan mo. How were you coping properly before this lockdown happened? Kung titingnan natin, there really is not much of a difference except that ngayon, limited yung galaw natin. Nasanay kasi tayo na sobrang free natin. So ngayon, limited yung galaw natin. Baka kailangan mo lang maging mas disciplined, maging mas tempered, maging mas maayos. Kaya ito yung nangyayari sa atin ngayon. So going back to that CBT process, if you will feed that thought na kasi kasalanan ng gobyerno, kasi kasalanan ng yung tao sa China, yung yung Chinese na yun na kumain ng bat, etc., etc. So if you will continue on feeding that thought, every day you are wasting your time for self-growth because you end up angry, you end up hating, you end up frustrated. Eto ngayon, why many of us are frustrated? I, at times, is also frustrated. The bottom line of frustration is no control. We get frustrated every time we don't have control, every time we lose control, every time what we want doesn't happen. Again, go back to yourself. The only thing or person or being that you have control is yourself. What you do every day, what you feed yourself, what you see, what you watch, what you listen to. If you haven't started doing this, alcohol, drug use, smoking, might as well don't start it. If you're doing it, might as well slowly lessen it until eventually you can free yourself from them. And then you always have the other. You always have your friends, your classmates, your family, your relatives. They're just a text away. They're just a call away. And you don't have to be a hero to be of use to your society. You can start by helping at home. So all this, if you'll just again really reassess and do it rightly, surely after this crazy situation that we are all in, I'm sure you'll be amazed at how much self-growth you have achieved. So uh, this was taken last July 8th, so that's a Wednesday. So every Wednesday of for the month of July, me and my team, so I have a team. So we call ourselves Hello 8. Hello 8 because there's 8 of us in the team. So every Wednesday, we give webinar sessions on mental wellness for our faculty and staff of ADZU. So this is the second Wednesday. So this one, we had a session with our junior high school. So why this picture? What's with this picture? Kasi ganito. So I was so excited to wake up to this Wednesday. Kasi nga, I used to be part of junior high school. And it's always nice to come home every time. Ito ha, kahit sa virtual lang, I was so excited to meet again with my teachers who turned to be my colleagues na, etc., etc. However, when I woke up, I opened my laptop. I received this message from my teammate. He had to attend to an emergency, a family emergency situation. Actually, he messaged me the night before. Pero tulog na ako, so nabasa ko yung message niya just the morning of that Wednesday. Sabi niya, is it okay if I will do a sub for his topic? So for every webinar, there are two topics, and he is the first speaker and the second speaker. So I know the topic, but he was the one who did the slides. So I'm not really that of a master for that slide. But then again, we've had the agreement na whoever has to leave for that session because of an emergency, because of a brownout, because of erratic internet connection, etc., someone has to pitch in. Siguro, if hindi ko pa na-master si CBT thought process, baka nag-panic na ako. So, after having done the CBT process for years, somehow, na-master ko na siya. So, after reading that message, I messaged him back. Sabi ko, take your day off, do what you need to do, I will take charge. Don't worry about us. Kaya namin to. And really, not a hint of panic, not a hint of anxiety, not a hint of negativity. So right away, na-condition ko yung mind ko to do those two topics. Okay, so nagawa namin, etc., etc. So after that session, I was dead tired. Alam niyo ba yung pagod na pagod kayo, pero it's the good kind of tired? Yung sobrang saya mo kasi nagawa mo kung anong dapat mong gawin to the best of your ability. Tapos, yung sobrang saya mo na galing talaga sa loob. So I was so tired, but I was so happy. And I still have a long to-do list for that day. But I reminded myself. I took a pause. Literally and figuratively, I took a pause. So I borrowed my sister's baby. So he just turned 2 months yesterday. I asked my sister if I can share this picture, and she said yes, given he's a minor. So I took this picture, I played with the baby, I cuddled him, talked to him, sang for him, and all those things. Pagod na pagod ako, pero I chose to take a pause because I need to unplug, I need to recharge, just so I can do my long to-do list maybe tomorrow na ulit. So you look at that baby, so innocent, siguro nag-iisip siya, no? Bakit hindi yung mama ko yung kumakarga sa akin? Sino tong magandang dilag? O diba? Sino to na kumakarga sa akin? So my point here is, enough, only you can define that for you. We get frustrated, we get anxious because we always want others' affirmation, others' acknowledgement of how we are. Even in the process of wanting that acknowledgement, we forget what we truly want, even forgetting ourselves. So, again, if you're feeling that tired, frustrated, anxious, panicking, remind yourself to take it one day at a time, one step at a time, one breath at a time. Because at the end of the day, you only have yourself, and there's only one of you. There's only one jersey, there's only one Penny, there's only one Ria, there's only one Missy, one Kyla. So there's only one of you, and no one is indispensable in this world. Yun bang feeling natin, I'm so important, like ako. I'm so important in Ateneo. So pag mawala ako, they might miss me. Siguro they might miss me for some days, but then they can always find a replacement for me. So the point here is, with thriving, with self-growth, kayo lang yung makakagawa niyan for yourself. So your family, your friends, your teachers, your clinical instructors, they're just merely supporters. They're just merely there to be happy for you, to cry with you. But at the end of the day, before you go to bed, looking back at how your day went, you only have you. You only have you to really thank for. Kasi nagawa mo yung best mo for that day. Yung mga hindi mo nagawa, tomorrow ulit. Then tomorrow ulit. What's important is, how are you at that moment? How are you in this moment? Make sense? Make sense ba? So again, the CBT thought process. What you think, you will feel. What you feel, you will act or behave in it. Madali siyang basahin, madali siyang pakinggan ngayon na ini-explain ko, pero pag gagawin nyo na, mahirap siya. Mahirap siya. And you need years to do it consistently para it will become second nature to you. Mahirap siyang gawin because I usually do this with my clients, with my students. Many of them would really follow, pero not all of them would succeed. Kasi nahihirapan silang i-change yung negative automatic thought into positive. But, as with anything, the most difficult thing to do always is to start. Always is to start. So, I'll end with this quote by Maya Angelou. My mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive, and to do so with some passion, some compassion, some humor, and wait, some humor and some style. So I hope today and onwards, you'll continue to do, you'll continue to do, you'll continue to choose thriving a day at a time. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity given to share this with you.